because my eyes aren't trying to like really trying to look in the same direction together. Like sometimes my eyes would just need to relax and I'd get into a good stare and then just go bleh, and I'd be like, I can't drinking alcohol. I think it's better not to. But if you're gonna have some things that you do that are unhealthy, I would pick alcohol personally over LSD or something. They laughed and went to delete it, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna leave it in and see if they want that one because it's funny, you know. And they loved it. They were fine with it, you know. So I'm just like, at this point in my life, I like, if it makes me laugh, why would I be mad at other people for laughing? You know? Some people train for 40 years to be a comedian and they still are really shit and don't make anyone laugh and they're just awful at it. And I was born with the passive ability to make people piss themselves. Like, I can either have a problem with it and be miserable, or like, it just means that their love looks slightly different. Who gives a shit? As long as people aren't cheating, it's not harm. By pointing one of those at the sun, it will literally cut a hole through paper instantly. Like, you can immediately blind yourself. I'm very, very lucky I can see out of both eyes, right? My dad didn't think a lot of things through and was not very responsible. My office building and sit there and play Overwatch between orders. And I would order in my stock, I would arrange it and package it. And then at the end of the day, I would post it and then poing poing. Dribbling over, what a Twitch simp you are. Meanwhile, you know, I mean, they're not, like, people would just like throw me $5. I used to think you were a bitch, but now you're alright. Bye. I'm like, what? And Richard Aspen, thanks for the 100 bits, hun. And Paul and Hart, thanks for the bits and the gift subs. Guys, thank you so much for being so generous today. This is insane. This is an awesome welcome. How to clean your glasses. I think you just rub them. You just give them a rubbing. But they're still fucking murky. It's so annoying. And then I came across another person who was unsponsored, who was like, ah, why is it so dark? Why is the water so disgusting? They did there. So for generations upon generations, for thousands of years, over and over again, they did this specific thing at solstice. And we know that they celebrated solstices, even if it like, oh, did the music go? I press play. I feel like it should be heavily stigmatized. I feel like it should be severely punished. People should take it as seriously as... I thought I knew where it was, and it turns out I don't. So I'm gonna have to play the video. I kind of placed it out of the way and put it in a storage room for a bit while I cleaned away. I did a mold apocalypse. There was loads of moldy stuff in my house, so I cleaned it all. So there is an element of that. Like, there are people on Facebook who, there'll be like an AI generated Jesus, very aligned. When I think too hard, my eyes go pew and they start looking off in different directions. It's literally happened on stream, right? When I stare off it, when I get into one of those big old stares and I can't, I was making the shards of light that come off of street lamps and stuff, right? Do this. And I thought it was funny. And I'm like, I'm making the lights dance. And they're like, okay, kid. I just get to know. I should probably retake it sober at some point and find out if I'm like smarter sober. Be funnier if I wasn't though. If I'm like a 90 without alcohol, that'd be fucking hilarious. You know? I've never heard of my personality being big before until I started Twitch streaming. Honestly, go well. I have a lot of prey animals. I hate cats. I tend to stay away from them because it's usually a bad sign. sip drink men think with one head at a time. I don't think I've ever heard it put that way, but it's a very, very this why why I could never be that down bad. Like, I have an imagination or something, you know, like some weird niche situation where you're budding sexuality, and it's often like your early sexuality. Like, quite often fetishes will develop when you're young. Get a kink from your early sexual experiences, but that can be one of the many ways you get one. Especially if you were made to feel like this is a shameful situation. I encourage it. So that's a special aspect of Saturday's stream. I've been meaning to make an announcement about it. I tried earlier today, but we needed to figure out some logistics on how it would all work. So I